Computer. Yeah. All right, everyone. This is the Broom Closet Briefing Podcast. And today I have my lovely guest, and she's also my very, very good friend, Jenny from Astrology Uncensored, right? That is your Substack on Substack. And we kind of talk about similar things. And I was like really excited to bring her in for today's discussion. Jenny, would wanna introduce yourself on what your Substack is a little bit about, and then we can go into the episode.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Jenny. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come talk to you too. This is really exciting for me. Um, so my Substack is Astrology Uncensored, and you can find me on Substack or also on Blue Sky. Um, if you want to access it right directly, it's Jenny, D-E-E, astrology.com. And I look forward to enlightening you from there. Pretty much what I do is I kind of consider myself a beat writer for the sky. So different things are going on at all times, and someone needs to talk about it, someone needs to call it out, and someone needs to tell the story. So I kind of take it upon myself to do that and then demonstrate the astrology and how that's developing through what we call mundane astrology
Mm-hmm.
or political astrology.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we have an overlap of audience because we always like keep talking about it. So Jenny is what I would like to like point out about what really struck me about her astrology is like she's so precise. Like I've never seen anyone with like so precise, even timing stuff as well, which is really awesome. I am still learning, to read astrology like normal, like how I would be able to like use it in my tarot readings, but I just kind of like chat with Jenny on the side, like, Jenny, what do you think? What do you think? And she'll be like, yeah, I think so. I think this is you're reading it correctly or whatever. So I am very excited to have her here. So we have a few topics we will talk about today. I know everybody is like freaking out about random things that are happening, and we are going to pick out a few things to talk about. But first and foremost, the eclipse, right? We are all kind of like really bracing for the eclipse. So, Jenny, what is your take on it? Just give us a little bit on what this eclipse is about, and then we can go into the politics effect of it. Take it.
So, this eclipse is going to take place in Aquarius. It's a solar eclipse, and whenever we talk about eclipses, we have a tendency to see endings and beginnings with these. So, there are certain things that are probably going to get cleaned out or come to the surface, and those will probably be moved along a little bit so that we can make way for new stuff. Because it's happening in Aquarius, things that are likely to be affected by this will have kind of a tone of um, social and community standings. We'll also have things like friend groups, social groups. If you have like a brunch club
Hmm.
or a bridge club, something like that. I don't know if people still do that, but uh,
I would like to do that.
I know, right? Like I'll just get together and eat cheese. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
you have a
yeah,
cheese club, I'll do a cheese club.
yeah.
But if you have anything like that, it's possible that there are going to be maybe a little bit of a realignment
Hmm.
because maybe old rules aren't doing what they're
Doing
supposed to
supposed to
do.
do. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and we are kind of like, okay, well, this needs to be fixed. How are we going to fix it?
yeah, yeah.
We'll find that out at the next eclipse in Virgo at the beginning of March.
Awesome. So this is a solar eclipse, right? The I think the February 17th solar eclipse, and then we have in March is a lunar eclipse. So so what do you think people can like expect for collective and especially for the political space? Like what are the themes that we can see? Like what is your take on that?
There is more than likely we are going to, recently, I'm a big hockey fan,
Mhm.
okay? And the
Mhm.
only way that I can really talk about this is with an analogy that a friend of mine was recently like, well, are you cheering for Canada because Sidney Crosby, or are you cheering for the US because you're from the US? And for me, I said, I kind of win either way, but I kind of want Sid to win. You will. you will pull my support of Sidney Crosby out of my cold dead hand. You can't let I won't let it go.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like the changeover that's coming because believe it or not, I actually think that that Team USA is going to take it from Canada if both
Hmm.
teams get to the gold medal game. But that's not what we're talking about. It's more of like the reason it's a good analogy is because, men's hockey for Team USA hasn't won a gold
And
medal since 1980.
yeah.
And Canada is kind of like this major powerhouse.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's the kind of flip that we are likely going to see with this eclipse on the 17th.
Awesome, awesome. Um, so for like my next question would be, I think people are like really wanting to know like what do we see about in the UN United States political space? What are the themes? What are we going to see? Because what I got from my obviously my tarot reading was that we are going to see more of the Congress kind of stepping up and do their actual job that we hired them to do. For some reason, it will be that's what my take was like we will be seeing some surprises, some surprise
Yes,
takes and stuff like that, that we will be like, oh, why are they doing that? I mean, they're not doing this. They were not doing this for like this while, but all of a sudden they just realize that they have a job that they're supposed to do.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that.
I totally see that. Yeah. So the word that I had used as far as government is concerned is decentralization.
Hmm.
We have seen a process building and building and building over the last 6 months
Hmm.
of this decentralization starting to take hold.
Yeah.
And most recently, even just I think it was this weekend, a lot of the Democratic senators and congressmen went to the Munich conference
Yeah.
and said, we know that it's a mess right now. Just give us a couple years and we're going to fix this.
Fix this. Yeah.
And the entire world said, "Oh, okay. Okay, so they are foregoing the typical figurehead type role that the president is supposed to take.
Hmm.
And we're already seeing that develop in a very real world type of way.
Yeah.
Um, what I had initially said was the word that I used for the presidency was going to be neutered or
Hmm.
castrated.
Hmm.
His power was going to be cut. Now, whether that was him leaving office or, which I didn't think was going to happen really, or 25th Amendment or being forced to resign, or, just staying there in title only. That was
Yeah.
all going to be on the table. And
Hmm.
that I think is slowly where the dial is starting to heat up a little bit because, we had AOC and we had Gavin
Gavin
Newsom,
Newsom. Yeah. Yeah.
both of them in Munich saying, like, we know everything sucks right now, but just
Yeah.
kind of hang on a second, give me a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually totally kind of like see that because when I was looking at like what would the pro up after Trump era would look like in United States anyways, it felt like it is more the governors in the states, they have way more power than like the federal government will ever have. Like this federal government is just kind of like there, and then these governors are kind of like more autonomous. It does feel like a little bit gonna be like after the fall of USSR, kind of. I mean, it's not like by name only. I'm saying like it's not going to be like, okay, it's going to be fragmented into like all the different states are different country. Now, I'm not saying that, but it felt like that becomes more powerful versus this, whatever the federal government power, right? It's kind of
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
it's kind of what Republicans what they wanted, they get it eventually.
Yes. Yeah, which is funny because they were like, "This is what we wanted," and no, oh wait, we don't want it anymore. We said we wanted smaller government, but now we're trying to like take over everything, and
Yeah,
it's like, well, you're going this. What happened to conservative beliefs?
yeah,
I don't really know what you're talking about right now. But when we're talking about look, when I said decentralization, there is more of a like a sense of, instead of everything breaking together or breaking apart, it's more of everyone saying, I'm not going to listen to you anymore.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can keep your name, but
Uh,
what we don't really agree with what you're doing or what you're saying, so we're
Yeah.
gonna
It
peace
just,
out.
yeah, yeah. I think that is it's kind of like what they call, I mean, I know it's very out there, this term of soft secession, but it looked like it might be just more like a aggressive way of seceding, but not like actually separating from the main country, but it's like gaining more power as states, like functioning more
Hmm.
autonomously as states. Like a lot of the things that Gavin Newsom is already doing as the governor, he's like trading, differently than the federal government. He's like having more like different kind of like like trade is one like other kind of partnerships, like doing I think he like the how the Pacific Northwest is doing their own kind of CDC versus the all of those things. I think these are the themes I think we will probably be seeing going forward even more, right? That's what you think, right? I think that is
That
what
is
I
that
yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that I also saw that being. So I think a lot when I was reading, so I've stopped reading other people's, predictions. I don't do that.
Yeah.
So I tell you because it really kind of gives me like I used to do that back in like I mean when I was not actively doing my predictions here. So
Hmm.
I would like read what other people have predicted, and they would be like, US is gonna dissolve into something. I'm like, that is I don't think that is going to be the case because it is there is no because it is United States has more what like I would say staying United States has more advantage than being like
Hmm.
these tiny countries, right? Because the biggest advantage that the United States as a country has is its geographical location. Like it's surrounded by
Hmm.
water in three sides and it's really away from its enemies. So there is not like always impending like attacks that can happen, which can happen in the other parts, or if you are like tiny countries, like everything is like just countries, right? So that will
Right.
be that is why I don't think the thing breaking apart into tiny little countries will ever be the case. But I do think that the what you're saying, the decentralization of like states gaining more powers, governors being more autonomous of independent. I think the Minnesota already showed us that that is kind of the trajectory that we are going into, and which is probably going to be the good thing. And that way, we have more control over how our education system. I mean, I think the education is still pretty controlled by the state, but I'm saying we can do much better work like if you are just controlling like a tiny area versus the central government kind of fucking us up in a way. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree. And I think a really good example and a very clear example of where they are trying to really test their limits as far as federal overreach over states' rights right now is voting.
Yeah,
He is going after the Georgia votes from 2020.
2020, yes.
And yeah, and it's like,
Dude.
come on, my guy, like let's get in the now a little bit. I know you really wanted to win that particular election, and your ego can't take the fact that we didn't like you enough
Yeah, yeah,
to go to have you do another 4 years. Like I know that's hard to understand, but that's what happened,
yeah,
and you need to let it go. And with the federal overreach, the states right now are saying, well, wait a minute, the Constitution specifically says that we are in charge of the voter rolls. That is our thing to do.
yeah,
And I don't think that this is, and I was back in what, February of last year. Um, I'm as guilty as anyone when I was saying, oh, this looks like it could be kind of wacky, you guys. I don't
mm,
really know what's going to happen, but it doesn't look like it's going to be anywhere near normal. And
yeah.
sure enough, over the course of the last year, it has not been normal.
Normal, yeah,
Um, but that is to say, at the same time, the the federal government trying to interfere with how a state runs an election, and the state turning around saying, it, we don't have to listen to you.
yeah,
They have gone out of their way to say you cannot enforce specific laws.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, well, if you're not going to do your job, we're not going to do our job either. We don't have to listen to you.
yeah,
We don't
yeah,
have to respect you.
yeah.
So we're going to do our own thing.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the kind of the themes that you also see, like with the stars,
Yeah.
kind of, right? Yeah, I think that is
Yeah.
very assuring because that means I also see the same thing,
Yeah.
which is funny that I use a completely different system and you use like a totally different system. So it
Yeah.
is, yeah.
It's reassuring to because I try really hard not to look at what other people are doing too much either, what other people are saying too much.
Mhm.
I try to keep myself informed, but I also don't want to open myself up to any kind of bias.
Biases, yes.
And
It's very hard
yeah,
in this area. It's like not to be biased by what other people are saying.
right.
That's why I also kind of stay away from like because I get DMs a lot where they be like, "Oh, this person predicted that," and I'm like, "Well, I am not this person, so I
Thank
have
you. Yeah.
to, so I have to go and look with what I can see, and I'm have to totally shut off like everything else from the noise, and
Hmm.
then kind of look at like objectively, very neutrally, which is a I'm a human. I'm having human experience here as well. So it's going to be hard to like, okay,
Yeah.
that person, like, I think there is someone on Substack people follow but like, probably like good accuracy rate or whatever, but that person sees JD Vance being president in 2029 or 2028 or something. And I'm like, I don't think so. Maybe he said 2028. If he says 2028, I would probably give him a brownie point. It's possible he would be president in 2028 because the person who's going to win in 2028 is going to be president in 2029. So that is different, right? It's possible that, this guy doesn't die up until like 2028. It's possible that he actually takes office like in 2028. That's possible. But I mean, I don't see it. And then sometimes when I say that I do see him being president at some point within this 4 years, then I also get that, oh, other people have seen that he will never be president. And I'm like, well, I'm not the other
Right.
people, right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Exactly. And see, when we look at um Trump's chart versus JD Vance has the exact, I don't want to say the exact same type of setup, but they have very similar charts in that they're both Leo rising.
Leo
So
rising, yeah.
if a transit right now, like Jupiter is in Cancer right now and is retrograding back
Yeah.
through their 12th house, and it's about to station direct. Well, if there's a negative connotation that is going to hit Trump's chart,
It's going to
it's
affect him.
likely going to affect JD Vance as well.
Yeah.
And even to the point where back when Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned, I was like, oh man, this is because I thought Adelita Grijalva was really going to be a trigger
For
for
this,
like a total collapse, and
yeah.
it wasn't her, it was MTG.
Yeah.
And MTG decides that she's going to resign and she's going to start saying stuff that she has to say,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it. And then um the dominoes just kind of started falling, and they're still expecting other Congress people to resign or at least not finish the term. And if that happens, then one by one by one, Hakeem Jeffries gets closer and closer to the
To the
speakership.
speakership, yeah.
And if Hakeem Jeffries gets close enough to the speakership, he becomes third in line
Yeah.
in
The
succession.
section, yeah.
So if Trump gets booed off stage, and then they also impeach
JD Vance,
Vance.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, there will be
Hakeem
a
Jeffries is number three.
I mean, but there is going to be a vice president with Vance, right? I mean, then that person ascends, though, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, what?
So after, if say Trump is not there, JD Vance is the president, he will have a vice president, right? So if they
Yes.
impeach Vance, then that we have that vice president ascending after he goes. So I mean, it's complicated. I don't know how things are going to happen, but I don't see him being like too long in the presidency. I mean, I think you can tell us more astrologically, like, is there any indication in JD Vance's chart that shows that he's gonna be a leader of this country? I think I have looked at it, whatever I know, doesn't seem like anything jumps out about him that is like
No,
anywhere, yeah, any leadership or anything. Which was
no. I think the closest that I've seen is that he might move.
Okay.
And when we look as astrologers, we look at the chart and we say, okay, well, who looks like they might have, who they might be, where they might be moving residences? Because when you're president, you have to pick up and
Pick up.
move to
Mm-hmm.
the White House.
Mm-hmm.
But he could also move somewhere else.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because we did see Kamala Harris moving in her chart.
Mm-hmm.
She
Well,
went back to California.
right, right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe, but you kind of have to. The thing is I think, at least for me, the biggest problem during a Trump era presidency is that it's really easy to get carried away.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really easy to get carried away because when Trump's in charge of stuff, anything can happen.
Yeah,
It's a circus.
yeah, it is
And
totally.
so you could say, well, this could kind of, it could be fine or it could be huge.
Yeah,
You don't know.
yeah,
And then it could be huge, but then this other thing could be huger.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really kind of hard to say, in normal times, we wouldn't have to worry about this too much. But because this is not the normal time,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of maybe need to be a little more creative and think bigger
Yeah,
or dumber.
yeah. I mean,
Think
mostly
dumber.
dumber. I think mostly dumber. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a lot of the things that they are doing, like they know they don't hold water, but they're still doing it. Like, like for example, like I don't know if you have looked at the Save Act situation that I keep getting a lot of DMs still when I'm still trying to make the case that it has almost like a zero chance, close to a zero
Yeah.
chance to be,
Yeah.
for Senate to pass that. Did you see if there is any way that Save Act can like, what do you think, like in terms of astrological transit, have you seen there is going to be issues
So
with the voting or
I
something?
I haven't done a ton of research on the SAVE Act, so I don't have a ton of context. But what I can say right now is based on what I've heard reported and based on my understanding of the astrology, I would not, this is not what I would concern myself worrying about.
Yeah, yeah. Same. I think my take would be the same
Yeah.
that way. So, what I wanted to ask you one other thing was like the Saturn ingressing that ingressed in Aries, right? I think there was one other person whose chart is also getting hit by this eclipse. Is that person's name is Stephen Miller? So, what do you think? What do you think? Have you seen like how that this eclipse might be affecting these three people, like Trump, Vance, and Miller? Like,
Well, I tell you what, I haven't looked at Stephen Miller's chart in a hot minute, so why don't I just go ahead and bring it
sure,
up
yeah, we can bring it up.
and we can
Let's do
talk
it.
about it.
Yeah, I think Stephen Miller is like a really a guy everybody is interested in, like because zero people voted for him, so that's why it's interesting.
The worst.
And the worst.
Yeah, just the worst. All right, hang on. All right, let me share my screen with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is Stephen Miller's chart. Boo.
Awesome, awesome.
So, what we see here is that this eclipse is hitting his second house right here,
Mm-hmm.
which is also where his natal Jupiter happens to be, which is also retrograde. That's actually going to be significant because whenever there is a reoccurrence of a particular transit in your chart, so like if you have Jupiter retrograde in your chart, Jupiter retrograde is actually likely to affect you a little bit differently
Mm-hmm.
than if you have uh, a Jupiter with a regular forward motion,
Mm-hmm.
um, or Jupiter direct. Then it's almost kind of like those people go to sleep and it becomes your time to shine, and
Mm-hmm.
then you go to sleep and it becomes the other people's time to shine. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's always a balance.
Yeah.
So this is actually this Jupiter retrograde has probably been interesting for
Mm-hmm.
him behind
Mm-hmm.
the scenes. And with this uh, Aquarius eclipse coming, I don't know. I think it's going to be at 17. Give me one second if I can. I think it'll be at 20, I think it's going to be at 28 on February 17th, and 28 Aquarius on February 17th.
Yeah, yeah.
So what that's going to do is it's going to call out his finances,
Mm-hmm.
um, things that he personally sees as resources. So
Mm-hmm.
we're thinking things like bank account, real estate, uh, liquid money, or with with Aquarius being there too. Aquarius is, very social.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be him trying to exert some sort of social control as he's done,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone being like,
Whatever,
deuces,
dude.
bro. Yeah, like you are not the president. No one likes you, and you're kind of a creep. So we're done here. And I think it's possible that this Jupiter retrograde is hitting his chart in a way where it's kind of like putting out a lot of fires right
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's I can't remember the story, but when the dam starts to break, you put your finger
Yeah.
in the hole, and then
Yeah.
another one shows up and another one
Yeah.
shows up. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of like where he's at right now.
It's kind of
And
like a
this is all
whack-a-mole,
just
like a
about to,
whack-a-mole situation.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Um, and then, well, he's got Jupiter retrograde through his seventh right now. That transit's probably going to be a good time for him. Um, the thing with actually last year, I think it was last May, I wrote a whole article, a whole write-up on how Jupiter transits have kind of screwed Trump
Mm-hmm.
over
Yeah,
the
yeah,
past
yeah,
many years,
yeah,
pretty much since he was born.
yeah.
And if that's what's happening with Trump and Miller's relationships are filtering through that 12th house for Trump, then that is going to be kind of problematic for him, because this is kind of like I like the word embiggening.
Mm-hmm.
It's an enlarging or a fruitful
Mm-hmm.
concept of safe harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So we are trying to keep ourselves safe within our relationships. We're not necessarily doing anything that is constructive,
Mm-hmm.
but we're putting up a lot of walls, and we're trying to keep people at arm's length.
Mm-hmm.
And once Jupiter starts going direct again on, I think it's March 11th,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
March 10th,
Waiting for that
um,
myself as well.
that is going to be like right now that it's been kind of delayed for him.
Mm-hmm.
Once Jupiter stations direct, it's gonna like like he might need a lot more than a defense
Mm-hmm.
attorney,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because this
Okay.
is this is kind of
It's all looking good for him.
uncomfortable. It's kind of uncomfortable. I
Uh,
don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it for him.
I mean, we
I,
can.
I,
I mean, I want to say I like it for him. I mean,
yeah, it's true. It's true. You got me there.
yeah. He's gone like done a lot of bad karma. It's gonna come get him at some point. I mean, I was born and brought up Hindu. I believe in karma a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then with Stephen Miller's chart too, we also have that lunar eclipse on March 3rd coming in
Hmm.
his ninth house. And where will that be? That is going to be at 12 Virgo. And because of that beginnings and endings when it comes to eclipses, Virgo is kind of like the editor
Hmm.
or the publisher.
Hmm.
And ninth house is a publishing house, but
Hmm.
it has a lot to do with communication on the grand scale,
Hmm.
judiciary,
Hmm.
judgment, and cross-cultural relations. So an eclipse there is likely going to call some legalities for
Hmm.
him to the
Hmm.
floor and start cutting things away,
Good, good,
because that's
good,
what
good stuff's gonna happen. I'm excited for him.
I am tentatively excited too, but at the same time, like, I don't know how it's going to develop. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and I want to say this could be like neutering to
Neutering his
him as well,
yeah.
but I don't have all the context.
No, I mean, if you see that right now, his appearances on TV has gone down significantly. I don't think I've seen him in a while now, right?
Good call.
I think they are like trying to keep him away from like TV appearances or even going on like Fox News or something. I don't think I've seen him after that whole the Alex Pretty assassination. I haven't seen him after that, like with that debacle. So I think they
Right.
are trying to kind of like keep him away. I don't think I've even seen him in any Oval Office like meetings even recently. So it is I think neutering is kind of like the right term at this point. I would be kind of like confident using that if I were you.
It's really interesting because we have this is going a little off topic a little bit, but we have Jupiter coming into his eighth house
Mm-hmm.
in June. And that is going to that's going to potentially cause some problems for him when it comes to resources from other people. So like
Um,
if he's used to uh, leaning on other people for legal advice
mm-hmm.
or financial assistance or just having a job,
Mm-hmm.
that it could be bad news for
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Miller.
Is he
Because Mars is there and Mars is kind of like the most challenging planet in his
mhm,
chart.
mhm,
And it's really interesting because everyone, well, not everyone, but I mean, JD Vance, I'm pretty sure has Mars and Leo as well. And I know Trump does, and so does he, Stephen Miller. So
oh,
with the aggravation that Mars is going to cause in Leo there,
yeah,
Jupiter is just going to make it a lot louder and a
yeah.
lot more
Expansive. Yeah, yeah,
yelly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be ugly.
Hmm, hmm. Do you wanna go over Trump's chart and see what the eclipses may bring
Oh,
for
yeah,
him? Yeah, let's do that.
absolutely. Let's pull it up.
Maybe this is good. Hopefully, this is the last few times we will have to do this. I have been like very leaning towards the fact that his health kind of goes through a major deterioration during this time based on
Hmm.
what I've seen in my tarot. But I'll what do you think that way?
Are you able to see Trump's chart?
Yeah, yeah, I can. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this eclipse is going to hit him in the seventh house.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's also going to be right smack dab on his lot of fortune. How
Mm-hmm.
delightful. How delightful for him. I love that for him. So lot of fortune being involved with this is kind of going to flip over the table on the circumstances that he is existing in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Seventh house is the relationship house to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
but we're also talking about like interpersonal interactions and like we say relationships, but we have a tendency to default to romantic relationships with that. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily it's not always like that. But like contracts, partnerships, um, teammates,
Yeah.
or
Cabinet
just,
members in this case. Yeah.
cabinet members. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. Good call.
Yeah.
Um, all of a sudden it's going to be like cracking that open and we're not able to control things because again, the power has been decentralized.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a really it's kind of like if you took a pick
Mm-hmm.
at a frozen over lake and it just started cracking
Cracking all over.
outwards.
Yes, yes.
That's kind of like the vibe that we're getting here.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of see him on his own little iceberg
Mm-hmm.
and not being able to control where he's going or what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
He's so used to having that solid piece of ice under him to steady him that now that he's flowing down and he's all by himself.
Hmm.
He's not
So,
going to have anything to really latch on to.
so I have a question on that. Do you think that may mean that there could be like resignations from from his cabinet members, actually, like real people leaving his cabinet?
You know, so I don't know that there's going to be any resignations,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Marco Rubio has been taking it on the chin for him. And
Hmm.
if you go back to 2016, Marco Rubio was the guy that was super good at calling him out.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just that everyone kind of liked the nickname Lil Marco
Hmm.
when Trump was talking about him.
Hmm.
And slowly and surely, Marco Rubio kind of melted into this mega
Goo.
survival ecosystem
Yeah.
to try to make sure that his career didn't go down the toilet.
Hmm.
Now, when I looked at his chart coming into this regime administration, whatever circus,
Hmm.
it like Marco Rubio had his work cut out for him. Like it looked miserable for him, just miserable. And you look at his face,
Yeah.
he looks miserable. He's not
Yeah.
having a good time doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think Marco Rubio is actually potentially, once he starts smelling the blood in the water, he's going to be the guy to say, okay, I have a backbone. I can stand up for this. And what you're doing right now, we're done. Like
Yeah.
I'm not going down with this ship.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Pam,
Interesting.
Pam Bondi will go down with the ship.
Hmm.
I don't think Marco Rubio is going to, because he's a slime ball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if Ted Cruz had gotten a cabinet position, Ted Cruz would be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's a matter of how can I survive?
Yeah. Hmm.
And Marco Rubio, I think, is going to be the guy to say, okay, enough is enough. And he's either going to get fired,
Hmm.
which is going to cause a lot of problems because then Marco Rubio can go say whatever he needs to say,
Hmm.
or there's going to be a 25th Amendment pushed. That's what I think.
Or like ask him to kind of resign before, like, I mean, they will kind of force him in a way, that way he doesn't have an option to but to resign. I mean, I think it was a similar situation for Nixon as well. They actually, resigned when he found out that they had the votes to like impeach and convict him. That's when he
Hmm.
did resign, because he was trying to stay in power illegally by asking the military to like kind of, side with him.
Right.
I mean, the Pentagon said, asked us, told him to go pound sand. I think this is the same thing that's gonna, I feel like the themes are so repetitive. It's like it's very hard to
Yeah.
not see the parallels. So that's why very much stick to the Nixon way of exit. And like nobody knew where he went, right? When he left, it's like he was like
Yeah.
nobody kind of knew what he did after his presidency
Yeah.
in a
It's like he
way.
went into exile.
Yeah, and I think this would be an actual exile. This might even be an actual exile to some country that he cannot be extradited from. Like it's if like I'm thinking like if I was him, I would do that. Like I would go hide in a
Yeah.
country,
What
right?
I think when I first started looking at this 2 years ago, my biggest I sat and I asked myself, Jenny, what is the dumbest thing that could possibly happen? Just write your movie script.
Hmm.
And I sat down and I said, he's going to get confronted with an impeachment.
Hmm.
Now, whether or not he actually gets impeached or taken out of office or forced to resign is going to be moot
Hmm.
because he's not going to step aside. Trump will never, ever, ever admit that he was wrong about anything, ever. So I think what the most likely situation is, and it's interesting that we both landed on the word exile
Hmm.
because of Saturn's fall in Aries. But I think what's going to happen is that if he ends up anywhere, it's going to be in Russia,
Hmm.
and he's going to have to live out the rest of his life having escaped on a Qatari jet
Hmm. I keep saying that Jet
to
has a role
Russia.
to play, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
has that for a reason.
Yeah. I've watched too many episodes of Law and Order Special Victims Unit to
Yep.
just
Oh, that's
let
my
that
favorite
jet go
show.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that jet still has a role to play
Hmm.
in this drama.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
haven't forgotten about it.
Yeah.
So
Like nothing is for
stay
like just,
tuned.
yeah, nothing happens just for like for the sake of happening. Like everything has a role to play. I feel like this is like, and the thing is that we have a reality TV star, right? So we are watching reality TV like as a presidency. So we can never forget about it. Like I know a lot of people compare this with the 1930s Germany, and I hate to break everybody's bubble, guys. It's not that polished situation. I mean, we are dealing with people who are cosplaying as whoever they are playing at this point, right? At least Hitler
Not
had
only, oh,
like at least Hitler had like some kind of military like background and at least thought process in a way. And even like look at the modern day so-called like authoritarian people that he wants to emulate is say the Russian one. He has KGB background. He has some kind of intelligence background. This guy has none. I mean, I know he aspires
mhm,
to become one, but
mhm.
unfortunately he has got none. Like even with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, the files, that everything. I have not looked into them. I don't have the stomach for it, so don't ask me if I did or not. But I'm saying that is so much similar to that movie Eyes Wide Shut. And I'm like, okay, this is another movie script again. Like, why
Yep.
are there so many movie references? Why are there so many television references? It's hard to ignore.
So my whole theory behind that is Trump employed media personalities because he knew he was going to have to spin a narrative. And that is why ever since, like, even before they got into office, this entire thing has been like, I'm through the looking glass. I have
Yeah,
no idea what reality is like.
yeah,
Not only are we seeing that indicated in the Saturn Neptune conjunction
yep,
that is coming up at the end of the week, but we are seeing it play out in real time as these people try to force us into a fiction
yeah,
and they're forcing us, they're gaslighting us through it.
yeah.
And for people that have never dealt with narcissistic personality disorder or have been in an abusive situation with narcissistic personality disorder or has been a victim of it, like it can, you're, you have no idea what's going
What's
on.
going on
But the
exactly?
people, yeah, the people that have seen this before are like, all right, I've seen I've seen this movie way too many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
We're done here. You're not going to lie to my face when I know what my eyes saw and I know what my ears heard. You're
yeah,
not going to tell me that Renee Good tried to run over that man when she didn't even hit him.
yeah,
You're not
exactly.
going to tell me that Alex Preddy is a domestic
True.
terrorist when all he was doing was trying to help a woman up off the street.
Yeah,
Like, get over yourself.
yeah,
It's not gonna work.
yeah,
Um, and all of that, in my opinion, has been a significant development in of the Saturn Neptune conjunction where we can see exactly what's happening, but someone is trying to convince us through their conviction
yeah,
and their belief that
yeah,
if I believe in this hard enough, I'll get you to believe it too.
yeah,
And
exactly.
pretty much the collective is like,
That sounds like bullsh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Saturn rules Aquarius.
Mm-hmm.
So because Saturn rules Aquarius, Aquarius is not only dealing with this kind of flip-flop
Yeah.
through the eclipse, it's also dealing with it through the Saturn Neptune conjunction.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lots
So
of moving parts.
yeah, and that is like that is why I always like it's I mean, hey, astrology do not care if you believe in astrology or not, right? I mean, it is there. Like
Yeah.
just like language do not really care whether you believe in a language. So to all the
Hmm.
people who are like astrology is bullshit, I mean, okay, you can talk to my hands. But I that's why I would like go back to the references like the whole time that this entire MAGA movement was like, happening. It was when, this whole Neptune was like at the forefront of like gaslighting and all of
Yep.
that thing, right? So, Uranus in Neptune, right? That was the transit, like, mm,
Hmm.
um, n- uh, no, sorry, said that wrong. Um, the whole time between, was that what is the transit that Neptune had when during that whole Trump running. I may have said that wrong, but it was like very much this gaslighty, like when he started that whole birther movement with Obama, all of that,
Oh,
those 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 bullshit
that's
like.
it. That's so far away anymore. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which one you're particularly referring to, and I haven't looked at the chart for
It was like a 12,
a
13
long time,
years
so
old.
I don't remember.
It's a 12, 13 years long transit. Like I think it recently changed. I think it was Saturn is in now in Aries. Was that Saturn in what was the last transit that Saturn was before
Saturn is
Aries?
moving out of Pisces right
Yeah,
now, so it would have
Pisces.
been
Yes.
Aquarius.
Yes. Yeah. So all of that this whole time it was basically the very gaslighty, like believe in the rhetoric that we are telling you to believe in,
Hmm.
and that is how long, like when we say that people are in a cult and they believe like what the cult leader is saying, I think you need that specific transit to kind of have that cult leader kind of telling you, no, what your eyes or ears are hearing are all wrong. What I'm telling you is the right thing. That
Right.
is that is what it is. And the funny thing is like I've read it somewhere that all cults are eventually they are sex cults, and even MAGA is not exactly an exception in that. Can you imagine
It's
with this
so
whole,
true.
it's like the Jeffrey Epstein thing, like really sealed the deal. Like it's like,
Yeah, it's blinding
yeah,
how Hollywood script all of this has been. And at least for me, I've been really kind of, I guess she's like really sort of weirded out by how, like, what what parts of this is real and what parts of it is not real. Because if I look at all of the different pieces of information
yeah,
that I've picked up, I can absolutely spin a glorious novel
yeah,
about what I think is actually going on and why Venezuela is involved and
yeah,
what's happening with all of this.
yeah,
Um, but you can it just gets so out of context, and then you sound like a crazy person. You sound like a conspiracy theorist, which is what they want. They want
yeah,
you to think that you're crazy
yeah,
because you'll keep that to yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, um, Trump is invading Venezuela to take control of their oil so that he
Invading,
can
yeah, yeah,
benefit
yeah.
from selling that oil to Russia.
To Russia, yeah. I mean,
And
people would be like, "Oh, maybe you're just like thinking way too much." Like it's exactly that is what is happening. It's exactly that's
yeah,
because I can tell you that from because in Indian politics they are literally talking about because India buys Russian oil and now they have been asked to
yep,
not buy Russian oil and to buy oil from Venezuela, which is basically what Russia is also kind of getting Venezuelan oil. So they are technically going to buy Russian oil, but they're buying it from Venezuela. So it's like a
hmm
whole like a hodgepodge of like weird
hmm
stuff going on, and that is like like it's a that's why I say that this regime has not even planned anything. Even the whole
hmm
like the whole like whatever they're trying to do is so scatterbrain. It's like it's not even like a plan which is like okay, it's kind of beginning to end like that. When people say oh my God, they plan to like they plan to like have women not be able to vote and all that, I'm like, you're giving way too much credit to these people. I don't think they are thinking even in that way. Like, yes, that can, affect us. Like, I'm saying a bad plan can eventually also cause a lot of harm, but that is not like, they are not actually like thinking, okay, this is what it's
yeah.
gonna accomplish, or this
There's
is
no
what.
next step. There's only what's happening right now.
Yeah, yeah. Because he's trying
Yeah.
to stay away from jail like today. He's
Yeah.
not.
He's a crook.
Exactly. And he's not thinking about staying away from jail tomorrow. He will plan the tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll deal with whatever the fallout is of this lie
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll do that by making everyone sound stupid or asking them if they're dumb
Yeah.
to their
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
And then telling them that they don't have all the information. So why are you trying to make assumptions on anything when you don't have all the information?
Exactly.
It's very obvious, I think, to anyone that's really paying attention what exactly is going on here. There's just a complete and utter lack of anyone wanting, willing, or able to stand up and call it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and it has to come through the Republican side. And
Exactly.
I think when we're talking about all of these things and all of these moving parts in the sky, um, first of all, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction it's very closely tied in with Russia. So it's possible that whatever is going on right now is potentially going to lead to
Mm-hmm.
something weird with Russia,
Mm-hmm.
um, something weirder than we've already experienced with Russia. But also there is kind of like this, it's kind of like this sense of, I, I guess, nothing making sense. Um, you know, you're not going to be able to understand what's going on at any given time because there's so much conflicting information coming in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And going back to what you said earlier, about how I had written something that had suggested, we were going to find out what America's version of Swan Lake is
Mm-hmm.
because we are constantly, constantly trying to find out what is actually going on when what I tell my friends and I tell clients when I talk to them, you don't need to know the why. You
Yeah.
need to know the what.
What?
The
Yeah.
what
Exactly.
is that the what is that, we're not being treated the way that we need to be treated.
Yeah.
We are not being given all of the information. It doesn't matter what all of the information actually is. We know enough to know that something shitty is going on.
Yeah.
And if something shitty is going on, that's all the information I need.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
all I need to know. I don't
Yeah.
need to go do committees or investigations or commissions or anything like that. Something's up.
Yeah.
Something's rotten in Denmark.
Yeah.
And it's time to just say it doesn't matter. Like it matters what everything is, but we need to take action now
Yeah.
to interrupt this,
Mm-hmm.
and then we can put all the pieces together later.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have enough information,
Yeah. 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 I agree.
in my
I agree.
opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. Um, the last chart that will request you to for us to like look at is JD Vance's because I know I'm gonna pull cards on him sometimes when we get closer to the whatever I know we are looking for in his chart, but I definitely want your opinion from the astrological point of view now how this eclipse is gonna affect his chart. And thank you, Jenny, for doing this with me today.
Oh yeah.
It is like I love to have these conversations, like because whatever I tell my husband, he would be like, "You're thinking way too much," and I'm like, I he also thinks that a lot of people give him way too much credit for what he's doing. But
Yeah.
yep, awesome. Like
I might be thinking way too much, but I think you're not thinking enough.
yeah,
So take that.
yeah,
So when we talk about JD Vance, it's the same thing with the eclipse.
mm-hmm,
It's hitting his seventh house.
mm-hmm,
So it's almost kind of like because his part of fortune or his lot of fortune is not involved like it is in Trump's chart.
mm-hmm,
It's not what I would call a direct hit. It's kind of like a graze,
mm-hmm,
but we can see that his Saturn is actually over here in the fourth house. So the eclipse is going to hit his seventh, and then it whenever something happens in a house, it also affects the planet ruling that house,
mm-hmm.
and it will translate through that planet. So because we're in the fourth house, this is kind of like and it's in Scorpio. Shall we say this is a cracking open of an investigation?
Mm,
Something that is quiet
mm,
and private and hasn't been discussed out in the open.
mm-hmm.
And because it's Scorpio and because Mars is right there as well, it's going to have a loud, kind of like a dark impact
Hmm.
on the ground that he stands on, which is to say, the homeland.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's just, I would, it's going to be very interesting.
Hmm. So do you think this is domestic or this is his work or his daily work?
Um, you know, when we talk about fourth house, we talk about ancestry and roots
Okay.
and like where we came from.
Mm-hmm.
If the eighth house is inheritances, I usually look at the fourth house as to what is being inherited.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's inheriting a mess for sure. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry. It's inheriting a mess
Mm-hmm.
and it is cracking open the ground that he stands on like an earthquake. Um,
So he's inheriting something. So I
he's
can.
inherit he could be inherit we could say that he is inheriting a mess,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't go we do have a lot of we do have a lot of planets in Pisces right now, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that I think that he is going to be taking anything over.
Okay. Okay. I mean, is it heading that way, you think, based on this? If it's not like right now, but like maybe in like a few months?
Hang on. I'm pulling up JD Vance's chart with the solar eclipse. So we can
Oh.
see that he's got all of this in the eighth house. The eighth house is kind of like I like to talk about eighth house as like our stock room.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff that we have that we pool with other people, but we don't kind of like show everybody right away.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to all of these planets are going to help
Okay.
crack this open.
Okay. Mm, okay. Okay. I'm
It's going to put a
excited.
lot of pressure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stop short at predicting anything. What I will say is that the circumstances exist. The
Okay.
circumstances are wild.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I think, baby, where are you? It's okay. I'm sorry. It's okay, baby girl. I know. Um, going back to what I was saying though, I think that whatever is this is going to ultimately be, it's not going to be good for him.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Let's
yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how this develops, if it is getting a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
if it is inheriting the throne,
Mm-hmm.
um, it's not going to go well for him.
Yeah, I mean,
I would,
he's gonna suck at the job either way anyway. So it's like it's not gonna go well for him. So for sure. That's not gonna be his daddy is not coming and saving him to do the job. I mean, you can push somebody to do it, but I mean, Peter Thiel is the person who's not never gonna be in the forefront to do anything.
right, girl, you got that right. I'm pulling up another one of my uh timing techniques. The zodiacal releasing. I don't know if you can see it.
I mean, a little bit, yes,
Um,
I can.
what year is it? 26. Ooh. I wonder what he's been up to lately.
Nothing.
Because
Yeah.
right here, yeah.
I mean, he's doing his usual job. That is nothing.
On the 17th, which is when that eclipse
Hmm.
hits on Tuesday, his fourth house is lit up. his fourth house is activated on zodiacal releasing.
Mm-hmm.
So I I'm going to be very interested to see exactly how this develops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he could he could be a fall guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He really could.
Okay.
So I all I can say without because this is essentially a cold reading,
Yeah.
all I can say without getting too much context or information with this is it's likely going to be very significant to him.
Uh-huh.
It could lead to a change of address,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay.
we're going to have to stay tuned.
Okay. Awesome. I'm excited. I know these three people are definitely getting affected by the eclipse the most, that the charts that we looked into today. And brace
I
yourself.
might have to write an article on this.
Yes, you should. Yeah. And all the articles that we talked about as the references, I'm gonna link them to the episode on the Substack when I post this. So you can go and check out those individual articles as well. So I think we will wrap up today here, and I will have Jenny again talk about these charts and everything because she has like a different set of eyes and different method to do that. And you guys read my Substack articles, which I write on based on tarot and Lenormand. But this is like interesting that she sees the similar themes that I do as well, which is like awesome that these things work in the synergy, right? That is the whole,
Truly.
yeah, you know, thing of like doing this. And hey, if you don't believe in it, that's fine. Don't be nice in the comment section. Be nice in the chat, please. Don't like come and hound us that, okay, whatever you said didn't happen. Like we are humans. Like sometimes we make mistakes as well.
Go yell at the weatherman
Yeah,
that it didn't
exactly.
rain.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So we are just forecasting the upcoming energies and giving you the ideas that what the thing is, the whole idea of starting this Substack was also to kind of read the real like the trajectory, right? Rather than the
Hmm.
sensation alone, to kind of plan on how we are going to navigate this situation, because this is tough. This is I'm not at all like going to downplay the fact that we are in a difficult like situation in a country. And believe me, I
Hmm.
have been in a more difficult situation in another country, and we have gone through that as well. So we will get over this. It's like we just have to be patient and kind of power through this, and we will all come out of it. It's bound to happen. I mean, United States is has been like this for 250 years, whether or not you actually acknowledge that this was the whole situation. Just because it didn't affect you, it was affecting some other group of people, like almost all the time. So this is a time it is all out in the open, right, Jenny? It's like there's
Yes.
that's just nowhere to hide. Like all the grotesqueness and every like dark themed, like everything like imaginable, unimaginable things that could be done by human beings and Homo sapiens is right out in the open. Like there's nothing, nowhere to hide. So,
I think something that you had said earlier about like making the comparison between this and 1930s Germany
mm,
is that it not just that these people are completely inept, which they are. It's also the fact that they are trying to follow those kinds of scripts and those kinds of rules
yeah,
from the 80s
yeah,
in 2026 when it's like, you guys know that we talk to each other, right?
yeah, right, exactly,
Like you
exactly,
can't erase cyberspace
right,
and those
yeah.
emails are still there.
Right. Like that's what I think I was saying that in my live like a couple of weeks ago. It's like if I was a wannabe authoritarian leader, I would plan this for 20 years. Like I would plan this thing in a way that like if I want to rule United States of America in 2026, I would be planning from 2006 that
Yeah,
how I'm going to convince the current government to take away First Amendment, Second Amendment, because with the First
yeah.
and Second Amendment, you can never turn this country into a true authoritarian country, because you literally like Brazil is probably one of the good examples that we can look at, that the Brazil has also has so many people, like armed civilian people, right? I mean, Brazil was
Hmm.
a dictatorship, and they overthrew the dictatorship because people rose up, and they are heavily armed, like civilian population. So I think if anyone is really afraid, look up a little bit of Brazil's history on how they overthrew their, dictatorship. That is a kind of a, I wouldn't say it's still an apples to apples, it's still an apples to oranges comparison, but it's like kind of the closest that I can think of. And that way, Brazil didn't even have the economic capital to do that, and they could still do it, while United States is economically much more in a better place than what Brazil was. So we will get through it. And that's why anything that we see, like when people are like, oh, voting is never going to fix it. I mean, I am afraid to say that voting might be the only thing that get us through this, guys. If you are like really serious about like not play with like, oh, I don't like this candidate because they said one thing in like 20 years ago in one tiny rally in my tiny community. If we are
Hmm.
not doing that, then we should be able to like collectively, get ourselves through it. Like,
That is how we got here.
yeah, exactly.
Um, the easiest way to say it is misogyny,
Yeah.
because the last two candidates that Trump ran against were women. It
Women.
was Hillary Clinton and it was Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
And what did we hear about Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris? There's just something about her I don't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe if you can just get over that, we won't have to like fret about democracy. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I
Like
need to think about that. I don't know.
I mean, this guy is literally like shooting people on the streets, and Harris had a weird laugh, right? I mean, like I am like,
Which he said he would do in
yeah,
2026 and
yeah,
not lose any voters.
yeah, yeah.
Come on, guys.
Come on.
Let's come on.
Yeah,
Enough.
yeah.
Enough.
And when it comes to like free and fair voting, I really want to say this also on the mic. Like, I think Jenny can back me up. Like, the voting is gonna be as free and fair as has been for the past, I don't know, 20 years or whatever. Because to be honest, I think people never said anything or didn't go on the streets when the election was actually stolen from Al Gore, right? If you didn't go out on the streets protesting during the 2000s election, that was a literal stolen election. People had a lot of proof that that was basically like a stolen election. And the ones we can't prove right now because of so much information overload and with so much like data overlap. Today it is harder to prove. That time it wasn't, and people didn't do anything during that time. So
Exactly.
if you are really fretting about that, okay, my votes are, they're going to manipulate it. They did already in 2000. I mean, nobody said anything. Supreme Court sided with like the Bush administration, like the the Republican Party at that time. So it is going to be as free and fair. It has always been free and fair. I mean, I'm like, I have to just say that out loud, because don't sit at home just because you think, like I said in my yesterday's article, is like telling people this, that the Save Act can actually like, kind of like, like restrict the voting is good enough. They don't really need to pass the Save Act, like in general. Like, just that thing about like, what's the point of voting? I'm like, they're probably not even, they're going to throw away my vote because some document is going to come mismatched. And people might just stay home. We can't afford to do that. But this is probably
Yeah.
going to be one of the most like surveilled, or like not surveilled like in like government surveillance way,
Intimidated.
intimidated, and like everybody
Hmm.
watching closely kind of an election, and we have to
Yeah.
kind of take it that as the most important one. So one step at a
The,
time. 2026
yeah.
midterm, then we go to 2028 presidential election.
I think the most American thing that you can do right now is to educate yourself on your state voting laws.
Exactly, yeah.
What are you allowed to do? What are you not allowed to do? What are the polls allowed to do? What are they not allowed to do? Um, who's doing what? And then if you go to your polling place and you see something that is not written on that pamphlet, call somebody
Call somebody, exactly.
because they are depending on your ignorance for their scam to work.
Exactly.
If you are too afraid to make a ruckus,
Yeah.
they win.
They will. Exactly.
Audre Lorde said, "Your silence will not protect you. Your silence won't protect you.
Yeah.
You have to make some noise. So make some
Exactly.
noise."
Make some noise. And if you're worried about the integrity of the voting, like I said, that go sign up to become a poll watcher or, or like a poll
Yep.
worker. Like I live in Oregon, so I don't have we have 100% mail-in voting, so we don't even have in-person voting. If we had, I would just probably sign up for that. Like go like be a poll like a volunteer for the poll worker. If we do have that, consider doing that so that anybody is coming and trying to intimidate voter. First of all, that is federal according to even federal and state law, that's a crime. They will be immediately be arrested, and whoever tried to do that. And the other thing is that if anybody wants to come and seize the voting machine or whatever, they will do it what over your dead body, like you will be the
Yeah.
one protecting that. So I think this is probably one of the biggest lesson or takeaway, I would say, that Americans really need to be in the game for when it comes to
Hmm.
like be a real participant in the voting. Like there is literally not going to be any way this excusable that, oh, I didn't vote in the last election because what's the point.
Why? Why?
This would be like inexcusable. Like
Yeah.
if you didn't vote, please don't complain about like your Medicare going up or
Yeah.
your,
I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to hear it. Like, exactly. Yeah.
Or you not being able to leave your house after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. You didn't vote in the last election. Why? Why not? Tell me in detail.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Exactly. So I think these are some of the things that I keep repeating, and I will be like a broken record. Like I will keep repeating it up until like the election day. Do your part, everybody. Just like not sitting at home is not, it's not possible anymore. Like everybody needs to get out and do something so that we
Yeah.
can get it back. Awesome, Jenny. Thank you for being here. And let's do it again. And we will be
Yeah.
back with more insights on the astrological perspective that you have. And you guys read what I post, like a lot of things. So so please follow Jenny on Astrology Uncensored. That's her Substack. I will link it. And please go and give sign up for her Substack as well. And we will be back next time with some more insights as well. All right. Thank you for joining with us. This was the Broom Closet Briefing podcast, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you.